If you got a problem, yo, I'll solve it, right? Playing peekaboo in slow motion, hide and seek in the construction site of a house. Like, oh, I know he tried to kill me while I was on my horse with his motorcycle, but damn, he can drop a beat.
Dry humped a guy on a dance floor because he was rapping. Cool as ice.
Cool as ice.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, but I'm sure everybody remembers 1991's Vanilla Ice and his one-hit wonderish. He also did a movie called Cool as Ice, in which he hangs out in some town with his bros. They're all riding a motorcycle, and he finds a girl who he likes and courts her. And I think there's kind of a plot about some shady business the father did. And then there's a lot of what equivalent of music videos, right? Does that sound about right? Pretty much sum it up.
That's about it. There's not much to it. It's ridiculous movie. So I don't usually agree with the, IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes, but this has a 2.9 on IMDb and 3% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm surprised it has that much, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was nominated for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Razzies: Worst Picture, Worst Actor, Worst Director, Worst Screenplay, and Worst New Star. Like Ice himself got 2 Razzie nominations. Oh no, more Razzies. Sorry, Worst New Star also with Kristen Minter, and Worst Original Song by Vanilla Ice. So Ice himself got 3 Razzie nominations for this film.
Well deserved too, because this is such a dumb movie. So,
Yeah,
it
I don't know if
starts
we need to.
out like
Yeah, go ahead.
it starts out with, you already know what you're getting into with the credits, right? So
Oh,
the credits start with Naomi Campbell singing for
what the
some
heck?
reason.
How did she agree to this? Yeah.
And then,
And she was
and then
huge back
Vanilla
then.
Ice is dancing around doing his rap, and it's basically this 5 minute music video. So you pretty much know that this is the early 90s. Like, there's no doubt about it. If you didn't know when this movie was made, now you do. And then,
Oh yeah, jackets, color of their motorcycles, the dancing. That opening sequence dance is very 90s.
oh yeah. So then, and he's got the jacked up like hair with the lines and all the stuff, and so he's done with this show and he's going with his posse, but of course he's got to like sign the boobies of a chick before he goes, even though his bros are like, "Come on, let's go, man. We don't have time for this." He's just too studly, right? So then they're riding on their motorcycles. They're like racer bikes, and they're just riding on their bikes through it's 10 minutes of them riding on their bikes. But finally, they see this nice girl on a horse because they're out in the country, and he just decides to do like an 80s jump over a fence and just land right in front of her, and the
Which, by the
horse
way,
kicks
there's
her
like
off.
no ramp. There's nothing really there that would allow him to do that jump.
Yeah, he uses 80s TV power to do that,
Yeah.
right? When you run into something, you instantly ramp off. Anyway, this girl is understandably upset because, she could have been killed or injured, like very, very, and he had no reason to do that. I don't know why he did that. Is that how you make impressions with girls in the early 90s? Is you
Yeah, dude, you jump
make
your motorcycle over a fence so that your horse, so that the girl's horse gets scared and bucks the girl off the horse. Every guy from the 80s, 90s knows
that's
that. Yeah.
that's how you
That's
roll.
that's why I'm into motorcycles, just so I can jump it over a
That's how you
fence.
got your wife.
Yeah,
You guys
exactly.
were in Ireland and you were on your Triumph. You're like, I like that chick. You just jumped right in front of her, like car, and almost made her crash. She's
Yep.
like, oh shit, this guy's studly as hell.
She's like, ouch, that hurt. I like him. You could have killed me.
So they go to this town because their bikes need work. I don't even know where they're going. I have no idea where they're headed, but they go to this town to some
I
kind of,
think they're just roaming around on their motorcycles.
yeah, kind of
And
James. Is
dancing.
he kind of like a James Dean
Yeah.
rebel without a Clue kind of guy
Yeah.
with his gang of like hip hop 90s hip hop gang. And they go to this house that looks like something out of like it looks like a big cartoon house with all this weird stuff all over the place. And there's a couple there, they're mechanics, so they're gonna try to fix their bikes. And then there's this whole thing. There must be a 10-minute scene of the crew just kind of laying around taking naps and maybe messing around with the novelty items and maybe practicing their dance moves out in the courtyard and taking more naps. And I've never seen such a boring scene in my life. This whole gang just doing absolutely nothing for 10 minutes, dude.
There is a lot in this movie for the sole purpose of just stretching the runtime to get, which by the way, it's an hour and a half long, although it feels longer. So most of this movie is just them stretching it out to get that hour and a half runtime to be considered an actual feature film, to be long enough.
Yeah, and this was made by Universal, so you think this is some kind of schlocky thing. This was made by Universal, like Universal Studios. They made this.
Yeah,
They made
they
this,
thought
dude.
this would be a good idea.
I wonder when the Cool as Ice like part of the theme park is coming out. Like,
Ooh.
you could ride your motorcycles and jump and try to kill like equestrians. When's that happen in Universal? Why hasn't that happened yet?
Yeah, come on.
It's so
Where's that?
dumb.
Yeah, and
So
conveniently, the girl that he got bucked off her horse conveniently lives right down the street from this house.
mhm.
Imagine that.
Yeah, so he goes to the house and she's got the, upstanding boyfriend. It reminded me of Son-in-Law, which would come out a couple years later. This is like the OG Son-in-Law. So he comes up all douche. He's like, yo, 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 what's up? And the guy's like, understandably, he's like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
And then he gives her like, hey, I stole your address book. I'm just giving it back. When did that happen? You only met the girl once.
Well, no,
You
the
tried to
first
kill
walk
her.
up is when he steals the address book. It's a
Oh,
later
okay.
visit that he goes to give it back. Yeah.
Oh, I see. I don't even pay attention. I wasn't paying attention. It's hard to pay attention to this
It
movie.
really is.
But then and this is why it reminds me of Son-in-Law, because so the boyfriend, the upstanding boyfriend doesn't like him. I wonder why. So they go to the hoedown country barn place and he starts rapping like hip hop 90s rap in this kind of conservative hoedown, and oh, they're just into it. And the girl's into it too. She's like, oh, I know he tried to kill me while I was on my horse with his motorcycle, but damn, he can drop a beat. I'm totally into this guy now. And they're dancing around. And he's like showing them what's up with the hip hop. So
Yep. Because we all know when you go to the crappy bar that has the crappy music playing, you get up there and just start rapping it, and the whole place will go to town on your music. And chicks dig rappers. So clearly it
yeah.
worked.
So the boyfriend's obviously not happy with this. So they get into a fight, but Vanilla Ice is so badass that he kicks this guy's ass. And I guess the
And like three
boyfriend
of
is
his
kind
friends
of
or something at the same time. I think he kicked like four guys' butts all at once
yeah,
because
yeah, no, he's cool. He's cool as
yeah,
ice, right?
yeah.
He kick ass. So I guess the boyfriend is supposed to be like, we're supposed to think he's this bad guy. I was rooting for him. I don't. There's nothing wrong with him. He just doesn't like this douchebag,
Well, they did the
like
scene
trying
where
to.
he takes the girl out to the car and he's like, get into the car. And she's all like, what? You're drunk. And he's like, I don't care. See? So that sets him up as a bad guy.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I'm
So
pissed
Vanilla
because you
Ice is way
totally like,
better.
you know, Chloe went to town with that guy on the dance floor there. I'm super mad about it. Let's leave and get the hell out of here. I'm saying mean stuff, and that makes me the bad guy because you totally like practically dry humped a guy on a dance floor because he was rapping.
Even though any guy would have totally reacted the same way, understandably, but
Yeah,
somehow he's the bad guy. Hashtag justice for whatever that character's name was.
whatever his name was. Nobody cares enough to know his
So
name.
anyway, now Vanilla Ice and I guess he has a name in this movie, but he's basically Vanilla Ice.
Mm.
He sets up a date with the girl, and they go on the bike, and you know where the best place to take a girl is a construction site, and so they go to the construction site, and there's all this, um, you know, slow motion hide and seek kind of bullshit.
Stupidest montage scene there. Like, yeah, the music playing, and they're like jumping through the construction
Oh,
site,
you can't
like
see
slow
me.
mo. Yeah, because totally,
Peekaboo.
that's what you would do. Absolutely. I know
Well,
if I
that's a
took a girl on my motorcycle to a construction site, we'd just jump and play around one of the houses that's being constructed in slow
first
mo.
date with your wife. Let's go to the construction site and play peekaboo in slow motion, hide and seek in the construction site of a house. But then later they go and they during the whole montage with his cheesy, terrible love song that he's got those going on, and he's trying to ride her horse, but he goes on backwards, and he just can't do it because he's just too damn urban for this kind of stuff. This isn't a motorcycle. This is a horse, man. I don't know which way is front or back. What the hell?
There's no
Country
throttle
mouse,
on this
city
thing.
mouse.
Come on, man. I can't ride this. I'm cool as ice. I'm too cool for a horse.
Yeah, but she's only met this guy like twice or so, and but now their bond is unbreakable. They're just in love, dude.
Mm-hmm.
They're just in love, so they're all together now. But unfortunately, her dad, who they're hanging out in their house with no light, and it's always like smoky. So I think they're probably got some kind, they got something going on in there. But he's got some kind of shady cops after him because he did some shady business. So they're hanging out outside of his house, eating on their car, like in plain view. And so Vanilla Ice, like, hey, what are you guys all about? Like, he's just talking to him. And so the dad thinks Vanilla Ice is with these guys.
By the way, and the dad was played by Michael Gross. The dad from Family Ties plays the dad in this. What the hell?
What would you do, baby, without us?
Jeez.
What would you do, baby? Michael, why did you do that, man? We loved you. You're our TV dad, and you did
Yeah,
this
come on.
terrible movie.
I mean, you're great in Tremors, and
Yeah,
but this, yeah. How much did they
you're
offer you to do this?
he probably sees this as a black mark on his career, which
Hopefully,
he should.
yeah.
But I guess because he's in witness protection or whatnot. But then the shady cops find him, and so they kind of just walk in the in the smoky house, and this because the even though he knows they're after him, he's taking no security precautions, and they kidnap the boy, the brother, the little brother of the girl. So who she go to first? Who she go
Vanilla
to
ice,
first?
baby.
If you
Vanilla
got a
ice.
problem, yo, I'll solve it, right?
That's
And then
right.
Vanilla Ice becomes like Detective Vanilla Ice. He comes all Matlock and shit. And so they leave a tape, like a tape, like a cassette tape. So again, this is 1991, and they put it in the cassette player that looks totally 91, and the message is there. Hey, we got your boy, and you got to come with money or ransom, something rather.
Yeah, come with the money
But
you owe us, or something. I think is what it was. Yeah, come with the money you owe us. Bring the money you owe us.
Detective Ice is like, hmm. He's on the case, right? He's like, there's some sound back there that I recognize. And he's like, remember, we were at this hanging out on that date at the construction zone. It sounded like that. I think there's construction equipment back there. They must be there.
And lo and behold, they are there. How convenient.
So he's like, don't worry, girl, I got you. So he and his gang like fly through the walls with their motorbikes. And then I think, what does he kick? He kicks ass. He's kicking everybody's ass, saving the day. So he went from the douchebag to detective to like action star.
Mm. I don't know why this didn't kick off his action star career. I mean, really, they should have put him in like the Mission Impossible movies, the all that kind of stuff.
I don't know.
It's crazy
But then
because he
it
was
ends
so
with another
believable.
music video. This whole thing is kind of a music video for Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
But here's the deal: like, if you sometimes this works. Like Purple Rain was actually pretty good, right? Prince was kind of good in that. He was on a motorcycle and he dressed weird, but he's
But he was
Prince, and
cool.
it was
Yeah, it was Prince. If Prince is like dressing weird on a motorcycle, he's still cool and he still makes
he's still cool.
because it's Prince.
But Robert Van Winkle doesn't work, bro. And his I think he this was it for him. Like he never came out with any music that anybody knew or any movies again. Because this cost $6 million to make, and I guess it only got like 1.5 million back. But the thing is, from what I read, he got paid $1 million to do this movie.
Yeah.
So basically, this movie made like $500,000 for the studio on a $6 million budget. Because Universal was banking on this, man. They knew they had a hit on their hands.
The
What's wrong with
executive
you
that
guys?
greenlit this film was like, my bad guys. And the like, studio's like, yeah, you're bad. Yeah, yeah. You're no longer in charge of greenlighting movies from now on. We're putting you in the mailroom.
Oh man. But this shows you how big for a short time Vanilla Ice was. And I'm embarrassed because I actually liked him too. Of course, I was a kid. Like,
You have an
I can't be
excuse.
embarrassed about what I like when I'm a kid. If I still liked him now, then that would be embarrassing. But I can't believe just with the lines and the jacked up lines through his hair and the whole outfit and the whole attitude. What were we thinking, man? What were we thinking in October 1991?
Yeah. I knew this was because everybody talks about how bad of a movie this is. I knew it was going to be a bad movie, but it was really bad. Like, there's like movies that are so bad they're good. There's movies that are bad but are actually good. People just think they're bad. And then there's bad movies that are like worse than you think they're going to be. And that was this one. Like you're right, that 2.9 rating is too high. Like I want to know who likes this movie and what is wrong with that person.
Yeah, the 3% of Rotten Tomatoes mean like there was a critic somewhere who actually gave this a positive review. I'm gonna actually find that critic. I'm gonna
Yeah,
expose that critic. I want to
they're,
know
they're
who
they
it
must have been
is.
paid by the studio or something. Be like, come on, we just need one good
It
review.
works for a newspaper owned by Universal Studios.
Yep. Yeah, because I would not, if you have not seen this movie, don't watch this movie. Like any other movie we've done on our reviews here, I'd say go watch it. Even if we gave it a thumbs down, go watch it so you know what we're talking about and make up your own mind and decide if you like it or not. Don't do it with this. It does not deserve that watch.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. This is torture.
Oh, it really is. Yeah.
We watched it so you don't have to. So yeah, thumbs down, Milo.
Oh, this was an easy thumbs down. There was no doubt about a thumbs down on this one. No doubt at all. It
It's
was truly
bad.
awful. I think because Heike watched it with me and I gave her plenty notice. I'm like, I can watch this without you. Like go out, do something, I'll watch it. You won't like this movie. And she's like, no, I'll watch it. I'm like, are you sure? And she's like, okay. And I'm like, okay, watch it. She's like, that was so terrible. I'm like, I did warn you. I did give you an out. So yeah, it was bad. It
Yeah,
was
that's a
brutal.
marriage wrecker there. If you
It
don't
really
warn,
is. Yeah.
if you don't give warning, that could be a marriage wrecker. So
Yeah. Yeah.
be careful,
So
people.
yeah, a lot of the bad movies I have her watch, I'm like, no, this is good. You really should watch this. And then she'll still hate it. But I disagree. But
Yeah.
with this, I'm like, you're not gonna like this, and you can't hold this one against me because I know you're not gonna like this. And I was right.
It's as bad as its reputation. Like every
It
Razzie
is.
that it won, it earned hard. It earned hard. It
Yeah.
did for every one of them.
Oh, it's terrible. It's so terrible. Michael Gross. Why, Michael Gross? Why? Why? You have talent. You have a career. You don't need to do crap like this. You didn't need to do crap like this.
Yeah. Well, luckily, I think he recovered with his tremor stuff, but
Yeah.
yeah, this is a career killer.
Mm. Yeah. For Vanilla Ice, it was. Hopefully. And Christine Minter, I guess she's done other stuff. The girl that played the girl, and she actually wasn't that bad in this. So she's had a career, but probably not as big of a career as she might have had if she hadn't done this film. Like this film probably took everybody that was in it a while to recover
Yeah.
from. Yeah.
Don't watch it. It's so bad. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
I don't know how long we'll do this overlook thing. And not every movie we do is bad, but this will probably be the worst movie that we will ever review. So it really is a milestone for us because I don't think it could get any worse than this.
It would be hard pressed to find another movie that I think I would dislike this much. I mean,
Yeah.
certainly other movies I will not like, but to passionately dislike like this one, because it is just such a terribly
It's
made
bad.
movie.
It's
There's
so bad.
no redeeming quality. Nothing.
There's nothing good about it. And I think Vanilla Ice, like I said in my 1991 self, I want to go back in time and be like, why do you? This is the Vanilla Ice is such a douche. He's so bad. Everything about him so bad. His movie's bad. His music's bad. I'm just disappointed in my kid self for liking that, man. I'm ashamed.
Like if I could go back in time, I would go back and bitch slap myself.
Yeah. But I didn't see this movie when it came out.
No, I
But
did
I'm
not
pretty
either.
sure that even if I liked Vanilla Ice, I thought he was kind of cool back then. If I saw this, that would have been the end of it. And that's probably what happened to him. He came out with this movie, and even people who liked him were like, "Fuck this guy." He just exposed himself, and then his career was
He
all for
probably
naught.
regrets doing this movie.
He
He's like, yeah, I
probably
got paid $1
does.
million, but it still wasn't worth it.
No, because your career is over after something like this.
Yeah.